Well, good morning again. I have to confess to you, I'm a little weepy this morning. And for those of you all who know me, that is a rare sight indeed. I'm so comfortable. I'm a workhorse. And so I'm comfortable with the work part of it. Like our other recipients this morning, and as I've told you, I too am not as comfortable with the award part of it. So bear with me, and I'm just so very grateful for this recognition here this morning. I want to thank the mighty women of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority and Sisters Inc. for this incredible honor. And to my fellow honorees and Caggins, I am not going to sing. My husband clenched up, he grabbed my knee like, dear God, don't get up there and sing. But no, that was not one of the talents I was given, so I assure you that will not happen. And Audrey Tillman, my friend, we have been together since we were babes in the law, I tell you what. And so I'm so humbled to share this prestigious honor with two women I so profoundly respect, and women of unquenchable spirit and courage. To my family, my husband Tripp, I said earlier, good morning to the women of courage and to the men that love them. Anytime I meet a strong woman, I don't even have to meet him. I know her husband's a good man. A good man. And so to all the spouses of the strong women out there, I'm going to tell you they're smart, and they are secure, and they are loving and so strong. So not just Tripp, but Chip, and of course, my good buddy over here. We've been through a lot of things together, Miles and I just, and so glad to see you here this morning. And Carolyn, Isaiah, good, strong men. And my mom and dad and my sister Tanya couldn't be here this morning. And I hate it because they love Columbus and they know so many of you all and have been so formative in everything that I do. I guess the one good thing about my mom not being here this morning is I can tell the story because she hates it. And she hates when I do this. So if any of y'all go tell her I said this, you're in big trouble. But my mom didn't graduate from high school. My mom grew up in poverty in South Georgia, and married my dad young, who was in the military, and also was from a hard-working farm life in the Midwest. And let me just tell you something. If my mom had been blessed with the education and the opportunities that Sister Inc. and you all are providing to young ladies today, we would have already had a woman president of the United States. And her name would be Diane Pike. And to my professional family, to Isaiah, our city manager, who I get the privilege of working with every single day, to Judy Tucker, who I've been with, I don't even know how long, to Josina, who's with us, come on back to visit, she can't get enough, Sarah Lim, and Brennan, who's going to be joining us, and Kelly, who attends all these wonderful events. Thank you all for being there and helping help pull things across the goal line. To my many role models, not just Ann and Audrey, but to Juanita Booker and Carolyn Hughley, Janet Baker, Thelma Robinson, Rochelle Jones, and so many others. You inspire me every single day. Your strength and courage in the face of adversity and challenge call me to do more and to do better. What AKA does here through Sisters Inc. is so important, and I thank you who gave so generously to provide young women a chance at a better education and better opportunities. I said in the clip that I do genuinely believe we all have talents, and for some reason, I don't know why, but I was double dipped in leadership, and I was a shy kid. I mean, I think I had elementary school teachers didn't even know I was in their class. I always got an S in conduct because I think they thought, who's that? But I didn't say two words to anybody, but I remember very clearly this sort of formidable event. And it was, I was walking home from school with a young girl who lived in my neighborhood, and she was very, very small for her age, and the school bully came up. His name was Bobby Palinol. If you ever see Bobby Palinol, you head in the other direction. But anyway, so he came up and he pushed her down. And there I was, and I had my Kermit the Frog book bag, and I beat the stew out of Bobby Palinol. And so, of course, I just walk on home like nothing's happened. A few minutes later, phone starts ringing. My mom answers the phone. It's Mrs. Palinol. My mom calls me in there. She said, "Teresa, did you hit Bobby with your book bag?" And I said, "Yes, ma'am, I did. I beat the stew out of Bobby with my Kermit the Frog book bag." And I knew right then that I had been given a gift, that there was something about injustice I could not stand. And if I had to be, then use me as a shield for those that aren't big enough, loud enough, haven't had opportunities enough to do it for themselves. You know, I was listening on the radio the other night. I had NPR on, and it was actually pretty late. I don't know where I was coming back from, but I was driving along, and there was this story that they were telling, and I won't go into the details, but it was in the Midwest, and this horrific injustice had occurred. I mean, this thing that affected and tainted people's lives for generations. And they were interviewing the people that had been there when this thing happened. And I was just aghast at their responses. They said, "Well, you know, I'm not somebody that goes buying trouble. You know, I usually don't look into things that aren't any of my business." And I almost got nauseous. I was like, you people, you know, you sat there and you let this go on and on and on because you didn't buy trouble. I mean, nobody buys trouble. I don't like controversy. I don't like to buy trouble. I'd like to sit at home and in the luxury of my family just eating bonbons and having a big old time. But for God's sake, when trouble crosses your path, you know, stand up. Stand up. You know, I had an opportunity to go to a civic march recently, and there was this woman. I'm going to give you the G version of the sign, but she was holding up a big old sign, and it said, "I can't believe I'm still having to protest this stuff." And I thought, you know, we grow so weary. You know, we grow so weary, but we've been empowered with our voices, and it is our responsibility to continue the conversation, and if we have to continue the protest. So I'm just going to leave you with a few random thoughts today about why we're here. This morning we've stopped our busy lives to reflect on those who took a moment in time and made it a movement, who showed us that we could do more than we thought and be better than we thought. In a day and time when there seems to be a relentless race to the bottom, we are reminded of Rosa Parks, who would not stand for the status quo, who knew the future was ahead of us, who knew we just had to be strong enough and brave enough to grab hold of it. And speaking of courage, Rosa Parks said, "I have learned over the years that when one's mind is made up, that diminishes fear. Knowing what must be done does away with fear." Fear is so debilitating. Fear of change, fear of the loudest, most reckless voice in the room, fear of those not like us. Time marches on and our challenges put on new faces, but the answers are the same. If we make up our minds to be brave, to put first and foremost fairness and justice and respect, to put first and foremost hope and faith and love, then we drive out doubt and fear. In the name of Rosa Parks, we say today, I will choose hope over fear. I will choose faith over doubt. I will choose love over hate. And in her own words, Rosa Parks handed us the baton of progress. She said, "I am leaving this legacy to all of you to bring peace, justice, equality, love, and a fulfillment of what our lives should be. Without vision, the people will perish. And without courage and inspiration, dreams will die. The dream of freedom and peace." Folks, we have never needed the example of Rosa Parks more than we do today. Rosa Parks took a seat and changed the world. We must take a stand against hate and ignorance and do the same. Rosa Parks marked a place in time, and the world moved on from there. Today, we need to realize that we owe it to her to mark this place and say, flat-footed and strong in voice, not one step back. Not one step back. Not one step back. As Rosa Parks said, what really matters is not whether we have problems, but how we go through them. We must keep going on to make it through whatever we are facing. We will keep going. We will not move even one step back. Because of the legacy we have inherited, we will follow her example and move the baton of humanity forward. To the Sisters of AKA and Sisters Inc., you could not have honored me more than by including me in this celebration of Rosa Parks. Thank you so very much.